heavy rainfall and possible flooding is expected in some parts of the Amathole District Municipality in the Eastern Cape as the cut-off low weather system moves across the Eastern Cape. The severe weather phenomenon has already wreaked havoc in the two metros, Nelson Mandela Bay and Buffalo City. Nomzwanele Mngoma is in the Port St. John's area. Let's get an update from her. Nomzwanele, talk to us about what has happened and how things are looking this morning.
Greetings to you, Lian, and to the viewers at home. Here in Port St. John's, there's not much damage that has happened, but we saw some pictures yesterday of some flooded areas, but it's not like before, because you remember that this area, it's just it's flooding most of the time, and I think it's the third time this year that it has flooded, and before. In the previous floods, we've seen municipality assisting the flood victims. We've seen private organizations, taxi people trying to assist because it happens a lot in this area. And there was also last year when there were lives that were lost. I think 3 people that died due to the floods, and the president visited this area, and in his visit he promised the people that there will be temporary structures that will be built for them. But to tell us more on those projects and on the assistance that flood victims are getting, as the mayor of this area, Nomvuzam Lombi, welcome to the SABC, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Zwanele. Greetings to you and the viewers.
Mamcingo, take us through about what happened yesterday, because we heard that there was floods yesterday. There are pictures that we saw from our sources, and there are people that were experiencing floods in their homes. Just take us through about what happened yesterday.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, as always, Port St. John's, we are always part of experiencing these floods. But we want to say thanks to the Lord for at least today. This area you are standing on, we usually have a river here, but we are a bit safer than before. But there is an area, because when you talk about Port St. John's, you don't talk about Port St. John's town only. You also refer to the outskirts of the area. For example, when you go to Kakuba Senior Secondary School, there is a rivulet there that's called Nomyezo, which usually has a problem. And it's the one that we lost a life in it. Sanral is working on that road. There is a mini bridge that is done, but it seems still we have a challenge. Another problem, Zwanele, is that in Port St. John's, when it's raining, you don't see the damage as it happens, but you find that we get the damage when the sun comes out, because our mud houses are always affected when the sun is up, and then the damage happens. So the ward councillors, the ward committees, the CDWs are around as we speak, checking if there are no damages that have taken place. But I know that there are areas that have been affected, but we will see the real damage when the sun comes up. Also, we want to appreciate to government, Eastern Cape government and the national government, because there has been an assistance that we got as Port St. John's. Also, on the temporal structures, though the pace is slow, also there are bridges that are done in Port St. John's. There are 3 bridges that are done by the municipality through the disaster fund. There are 10 bridges that are done by the army with the Department of Transport. So we said before, we have a backlog of 40 bridges in Port St. John's, but we are glad at least to say there is that progress now of 10 bridges by the army, 3 bridges through the disaster fund, and we have 34 million that we have received, which we are also working on in the streets, in the farms around Port St. John's, and making sure that the other areas that were unreachable, we are working on them.
On the previous interview, Mayor, you spoke about removing people from the wetland because there were allegations that these people placed themselves in areas that they were not supposed to be in.
Yes.
And you spoke about removing them to other areas, and you were also mentioning negotiations that were happening with traditional leaders. How far are you with that?
We are fortunate that there has not been damage again there because those negotiations are still on. You will remember that the development of Port St. John's is an ongoing thing. So they are refusing, some of them, to go far away.
Enkosi Mayor, that is the Mayor of Port St. John's, just telling us about their preparations and their assistance so far, since this area is mostly flooded most of the time.